Chapter 4: Plan for all outcomes. Financial planning is not just about investing in the stock market and waiting for the money to grow. If you stuck with me so far, you know it's also about being prepared for any situation that life may throw at you. Planning for all eventualities is the key to achieving your long-term financial goals. In this chapter, we'll discuss how to embrace change, expect the unexpected, work towards your goals, and build confidence in your investment strategy. Let me acknowledge that it doesn't always feel the same on the trail. Some days you really feel the flow, but other times, no matter what you do, you feel slow and plodding. Maybe you didn't sleep quite as much as you should have, or you haven't hydrated as much as you need to be. Maybe it's some other indecipherable thing you'll never quite figure out. But the way I look at it, that's okay, because any day riding the trails is a good day. I like to make this distinction with my clients because it's about point of view. The lens through which you look at things can really transform your experiences for you. That's not true just in investing, but in life. There are many fluctuations in the market, but the long-term increases that this attitude will achieve can truly be transformative. That's not me promising you the market will only go up for you if you believe it's so. There are few things more concrete and real than the market. It doesn't respond to wishful thinking, but if you're in it, you're winning, whether it's an up day or a down day. To illustrate this, let me tell you about a bad day. Everyone remembers where they were in March of 2020. I was sitting at my desk, not only concerned about the news I was seeing about the burgeoning pandemic, but also fielding calls and emails from panicked clients. The market was seeing downturns I rarely witnessed, and I've been at this for a long time. It wasn't just a crash like we had in 2008. It was a complete shutdown of everything: shipping, commerce, stores, restaurants, an unprecedented cessation of everything that keeps the market humming. Even the people who say they've seen everything had never seen anything like this. Part of how we get through crises is that we think back on similar ones in the past. Oil prices skyrocket. We know how to manage that. Job reports soft. There are techniques to manage risk there too. But when had anyone alive seen everything closed down? I'm thinking in particular of a client I'll call Tom. He's been with me for a long time, and I've never known him to be skittish. But this was hitting him in a whole new way. He was 3 years away from an early retirement, and suddenly 30% of his nest egg was gone. He wanted to cut his losses. How could he ever come back from this in time to live his dream? I use him as one example, but he was the norm, not the exception. Everyone was scared in their own way. It took a series of conversations, but I was able to talk him off the ledge and explain the strategy. You rarely win by taking the haircut and getting out at the low point. I went over the plan again and told him about how we could manage this wave. True, it was unprecedented, but we've seen big world events before. It took some doing, but this client decided to follow the plan. Because of that, I'm happy to report he's still on course to retire, exactly on schedule, precisely according to plan. I'm going to show you the whys and hows of planning for all eventualities. It doesn't mean seeing the world through rose-colored glasses. It's quite the opposite. It's arming yourself with the tools to ride any path, no matter how rocky or unexpected. Accept both the good and the bad days. The first step towards planning for all outcomes is to accept both the good and bad days. If this sounds like simplistic advice, it isn't. I don't expect it to be easy. I know the market goes up and down, and yet down days still present challenges. Although I've learned to really enjoy the down times, more on that in a bit. In the world of financial planning, accepting good and bad days means accepting that the market will have ups and downs. Some days you may experience losses, some days you may gain a lot. But it's important to remember that any day invested in the market is a good day. This attitude will help you stay calm and collected during market crashes. Unexpected illnesses that stress your budget or your family unity or any other unforeseen circumstances that come your way. Embrace change. Change. Most people don't love it. Yes, change can be exciting, but it also can be disconcerting and unbalancing. We work hard to build lives that are steady. We save up for rainy days so that when the minivan needs new brakes, we're prepared. We get a good bike so that we can ride over any terrain. And just like ever-changing terrain, life is full of unexpected changes. The portfolio that made absolute sense in your 30s may need to be adapted as you get closer to retirement. The investments that were driving growth before you had children may need to be rethought as those kids grow and college tuition becomes a factor. As you progress through various stages in life, solutions that were once right may prove insufficient. Rarely will we change the portfolio for short-term economics, but we will need to adjust risk to the life stage. Personal circumstances like health concerns, a spouse's retirement plan, elder care for parents, and other factors also need to be considered when planning for your financial future. And those things evolve and change over a lifetime. Going into the financial planning process, understanding that change is inevitable and adapting is the norm, not the exception, will put you in the right mindset to plan for all eventualities. Pursue opportunities within your unique circumstances. In the world of financial planning, it can be challenging to distinguish one advisor from another. You can hardly turn on the television or talk to a buddy without hearing about the planner who's going to revolutionize everything. So, how do you pick? You may have heard this type of talk before, but I'll explain why this relates to you and us more than anyone your friend will tell you about. More than even the most celebrated big name financial planning book author. I can confidently say that our team of planners has a unique approach that sets us apart from the rest. Not for everyone, but for you in particular. While we cover all of the usual aspects of financial advising, such as picking the portfolio, optimizing for taxes, creating an estate plan, we specialize in serving a specific demographic of employees. Our core clients are those who work for large and medium-sized companies who have a 401k and possibly a cash balance pension. One way to know that we can work with you is if your company offers a brokerage window to opening an account at Charles Schwab or Fidelity, Empower, and many others. Odds are we've already set up with your employer and are able to help you today. We found that by staying within the specific demographic, we can become more efficient and thorough in our approach to financial planning. We're not experts in everything, but we're experts in precisely the kinds of unique opportunities people with retirement options like you have. We have years of experience working with different types of 401k plans and have helped countless clients navigate their unique retirement benefits. We understand that each client's situation is different and requires an individualized approach. But we also know the ins and outs of your cash balance pension or profit sharing like few other advisors you'll come across. When working with clients, we avoid general advice and stick with our swim lane of expertise. We understand that following a rule of thumb, even the kind you hear about from big-name TV advisors, may not be the best approach for people in your unique circumstances. Each client has a specific financial goal and objective. I've written this book because my business is getting to the point where I can take on only an exclusive set of clients. Putting this information out there can hopefully help people ask better questions when they're looking to engage a financial planner. Whether you're moved to work with me or someone else, if you want the best gauge of what a planner can do, go find some people who work with them. Ask people in your company, or as I always tell clients, ask me, and I'll steer you in the direction of a cross-section of clients, both at your stage of investing and earlier or later in the process. Talk to people who have worked with the planner for a long time. People may not tell you the details about their specific plan, but they'll give you an idea of where they were when they started working with the planner and where they are now. Just ask them about the process. Do they feel good about it? Have they learned something? How do they fare during tough economic times? Your money's important. Who you work with while managing it can mean the difference between squeaking by and living large later in life. That's why it's important to embrace new opportunities and to understand them in the context of the unique opportunities your cash balance pension and or 401k with profit sharing affords you. A good financial planner needs to know not just how to put together a financial plan, but the ins and outs of your special situation. If you picked up this book, I extend the offer for you to call me. Whether I'm taking on new clients or not, I'll always take a few minutes to chat with an employee to help you see the unique situation you're in, and I can steer you in the right direction to maximize growth and find an advisor in our firm. As the investment landscape changes, you may need to shift your investments to align with your goals. Again, while keeping in mind that rules that apply to others may not make sense to you. Stay open to taking a different route to achieve your financial objectives and lean into the retirement options that open up to you because you've made the smart choice of building a career at your company. Expect the unexpected. One of the most important things to keep in mind when planning for all eventualities is to expect the unexpected. It's called the unexpected, so how can you expect it? You may not know specifically what's coming. No one really does. And anyone who says they do is likely trying to sell you something. Who could have known the mortgage crisis was going to ripple through the economy as it did? Who could have possibly foreseen the scale of the global pandemic? Market crashes and swift changes in the world can cause uncertainty and anxiety. However, it's important to remember that volatility is not real risk. That may sound counterintuitive, so let me say it another way. Ups and downs don't mean your savings are at risk in the long term. While stocks and equities tend to be more volatile, those ups and downs, over time, the risk diminishes. In other words, what goes down must come up. Markets rebound. That is not to say that any one stock is definitely coming back or that the market will bounce back in unexpected ways. But it does mean you shouldn't sell in a panic. Instead, stay invested to win in the long run. If you look at the long-term graph of stock indexes, you'll see what I mean. The greatest risk to a retirement portfolio is not loss of principal, but loss of purchasing power. A retirement portfolio has to keep up with inflation, fees, and withdrawals. One of the best asset classes to accomplish this task is business ownership, also known as owning stocks. So while you may be put off, particularly at the start, by what feels like big fluctuations, getting yourself used to expecting the unexpected will set you up to achieve your big financial dreams in the long term.